What is going on, OTB Nation? Welcome into episode number 230 of the allegedly award-nominated, honorably mentioned, and of course viewable on YouTube, Outside the Box podcast, part of the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. It's KB and Deej coming at you. Another week without PLL action, but we did have the World Games, so we're going to recap everything that went down there. And anybody who didn't think Team Canada was going to win, you were fooling yourselves. I'll get into Shoot Out for Soldiers Philly recap. I got the fresh swag on. It was an absolute blast hanging out with our pals at a school that is absolutely ridiculous, Deej. I'm going to get into that. Felt like I was at Hogwarts. And then we're going to preview the All-Star game for the PLL. Plus, we got the NLL All-OTB teams to unveil to you tonight. So, before we get started, make sure you're following us on the socials at OTB LaxPod, Twitter, Instagram. Check out the giveaway. By the time you guys are watching and listening to this, our giveaway is our pinned tweet on Twitter. I've never seen such a lack of interest in a jersey giveaway in my life. Yes, I'm calling out every single person on Lacrosse Twitter. We're giving away a free PLL jersey of your choice for the All-Star jerseys. Whether Team Trevor Baptiste, Team Connor Farrell, your choice. We're giving away a jersey. Go enter that motherfucker. It's easy. You just got to follow us on Twitter and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's not that hard. It's real simple. The link is in the tweet to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Come on, people. We've had better outcomes for lesser giveaways on this podcast. Come show out at OTB LaxPod, Twitter, Instagram. Follow DJ on Twitter at SCS_next. Great. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Check out the website, undergroundsportsphiladelphia.com, for all of our written content. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews because it really does go a long way. And, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Hit the like button, click the bell icon, comment down below. And if you subscribe and you follow us on Twitter, you retweet the tweet, that's our pinned tweet, you get a chance to win a free PLL All-Star Game jersey. It's so easy. A caveman could do it, not a sponsor. And, of course, big thank you to our sponsors who make this show happen. Tomahawk Shades, Kenwood Beer, Pickup, and Bino Board. TomahawkShades.com. Use code USP for 25% off your order at TomahawkShades.com. Kenwood Beer. Go to kenwoodbeer.com and use the Kenny tracker to see who's got Kenwood beer on tap in the Philadelphia area. You got to be 21 or older to do so. And, of course, please drink responsibly. And we love all our sponsors equally, but I got to say, Bino Board, the most fun and interactive sponsor we have. Deej, I brought one of the boards to a graduation party I was at last weekend. Instant hit. So much so that I said, yeah, I got another one of these at my house. I was literally like 2 minutes down the road for where this party was. They said, go get that thing. So I went home, got the green turf board, brought both of them out, and we were having like full-blown tournaments for like 8 hours into that. We were playing at 5 in the morning. It was insane. And then I had to drop something off at that house the next day. Half the people didn't know I was going to be doing that. They were like, KB, let's go. And they were like, you should have brought the boards, bro. And I was like, you really think I unpacked my car at 5 in the morning? They're still in my trunk. They said, bring them things out. So we were playing for like another 4 or 5 hours. It was electric. You guys can get your own boards at binoboard.com and use code BINOUSP for 10% off your order from the homies over at Bino. That includes the boards, merch, accessories, all that good stuff. Bino USP for 10% off at binoboard.com. What's poppin', Deej?
The boys were locked and loaded this week.
Locked in.
They're ready to go. This tournament coming up this weekend is one that they won last year, so they're ready to back-to-back it, bring it back home. And so
stay on Drake mode.
For that. They are, man. They are locked in, man. Our practices this week were everything we needed them to be. Super focused, ready to go, sticks dialed in, listening, learning on the fly. It was awesome. So I'm excited for Saturday, Sunday, and hopefully going to bring my first trophy home. Excited to get back on the road next week.
Let's
Buying my
go.
plane ticket tomorrow.
Let's go.
Getting back in Philly, playing some bingo, getting out to Connecticut for some lax.
We're going to stuff our faces with pizza.
Yes.
It's going to be electric.
And I mean,
Fairfield is going to be a time.
Gotta pop off because I mean I'm taking a month off. No
we
Denver.
Both are.
No Denver because I'll be working. We have Ribfest here in Kalamazoo, and my job actually runs the whole thing, getting the vendors, setting them all up, getting the entertainment in town, and all that. So, got to do that. Then the next weekend, I vowed that I'd never ever touch foot back in Salt Lake City. So there's that. And then I was all set to go to Seattle, super pumped, was going to go regardless of who else was going. And my mom dropped the bomb like 4 months ago. Well, no, I guess like 6 months ago now, 7 months. Oh, yeah, my wedding's August 20th. And I was
Shook
like,
'em.
What? I'm like, just push it back 1 week. Like the next week is a PLL off week. I can go to Seattle. You can get married. Everything's okay. And she's like, I'm not changing anything for you. So there's that. No Seattle for me.
Shook 'em.
Instead, I'll be hitting the open bar, probably shooking them on the dance floor.
Yeah, so Fairfield will be our last stop of the regular season because I also am taking off the entire month of August. So no Dallas, no Denver, no Salt Lake City, no Seattle for the boys, but we're doing the whole we're doing the whole playoff run. So we'll see you in Boston, we'll see you in DC, and we'll see you in Philly.
You know what this means since we're going to DC together.
Jack.
Yes. 2, you either have to A, borrow gear and play in the sixes with me.
Oh, Christ.
Or bring your camera and get vlog film.
Option B.
Option B, so quick.
Well, here's the thing, too. We might have to go a day earlier because Shootout for Soldiers Baltimore is happening at the USA Lacrosse headquarters on September 10th into September 11th, which is DC. A little straight shot from Baltimore to DC.
I'm cool with that. That works for me.
We'll make it happen. Because it was an absolute blast. Because I was at Shootout for Soldiers Philly. Talk about a segue. On Wednesday night into Thursday morning. It was an awesome environment. And over the next couple of weeks, we will have a couple of interviews rolling out in video form on the YouTube channel. And they'll be included in podcast episodes that I got a chance to do with some veterans, with some people connected to Shootout in different ways. It was just an awesome environment. It really did that connection of like the civilian life with the military personnel. Dude, they had a helicopter flyover before the veterans game at like 500 feet above where everything was. It was like super close to everything. It was electric. Some awesome interviews coming your way too from some service members, which was incredible. Shout out to PT. That was probably the most unreal kind of just like sit down, picking somebody's brain that we typically don't interview on this podcast, but him having the Philly connections. He went to college in Philly, his military background being in, he was in Desert Storm. The Shootout for Soldiers Pennies this year honoring Vietnam and Desert Storm as well. And his story is just incredible, so I'm excited for you guys to check that out as well. But just an awesome environment, raised nearly $35,000 in the first year back in Philly since 2019. Coach Bates was in attendance, Coach Todd McFarland from Redwoods, and Coach Chris Collins were also in attendance there. Giving their time up during the All-Star break to, just donate their time to be there was really cool. And the place, the venue, Episcopal Academy, DJ, I sent you the picture of the field itself. I'm going to include on the video form just pictures of Episcopal Academy. Holy shit. I pulled up and I got the best response in one of our interviews from a quad of guys. I believe they're in the Air Force. I apologize if I'm wrong there, but one of them said they put the school in the gated community. You pull up, there's a whole gate system and everything, and I felt like I was pulling up to Hogwarts on steroids. Like, I was like, there's no way I should be rolling up in my Honda Civic right now to this place.
Holy high point.
I was texting people this that I was told from Eric Minio, friend of the program. To go to high school there, it is $52,000 per year.
You know, that's my college tuition.
That was my sister's college tuition if she didn't get the presidential scholarship in hoity-toity North Jersey. Elementary school is also available there. That's $20,000 a year.
Hey, one thing I know, everybody from that school is either an athlete or got a nice ass job.
One thing I know, if anybody has people attending that school wants to invest in this podcast,
Hey,
we're alive and well and willing to listen.
absolutely.
Because my goodness,
I can always make time for that.
they had. I don't even think the picture I sent you did it justice on how many fields. I feel like every single sport at that school has their own designated field. It was nuts. And, like, Coach Bates was, like, driving on a golf cart and everything. There's apparently, like, a neighborhood in the school area that he was, like, driving and putting flyers up to let people know that there was going to be noise and stuff going on. It's like, this is fucking insane. They put the school in the gated community. It was nuts. Absolutely insane, but a fantastic event. I got to hold one of those big checks for the very first time. They had me in the pictures, which was elite. That'll probably be the only time I ever hold a big check because...
Nah, dude. Nah, we're going to be giving away big checks like that one day.
One day. But I was like, wow, I'm 28 years old and I've never held a check this big.
I think I did before. Don't quote me on that.
It's hilarious. That's a question on shout out to the Are You Garbage podcast, boys. That's a question they asked to see if you're garbage or not. I was like, well, here we go. Add it to the garbage tracker.
Bingo. Another one.
Oop. The shirt is sweet. Absolutely awesome design. Incorporating like everything Philly from the Sixers, the Union, the Eagles, the Phillies. Awesome stuff. Awesome event. They had some great raffles too, and they're going to Long Island next week, so I know that's going to be an absolute blast. I know Jordy and the boys are going to be up there in Long Island, so if you're in the area, go support, because Eric and Alexis and Robbie support everything we do. It was a blast being there, and can't thank them enough for all their support of OTB and Underground Sports, and Philly's going to be electric next year, for sure. For sure. I know they had one in Ohio. And I was thinking, I was like, this could be something DJ just brings the boys out to one weekend.
Columbus, probably. That's an expensive bus.
But I'm saying if they keep growing, we bring that to Michigan.
I hope so. Because, like, I mean, I've already decided I'm taking my boys to a Michigan lacrosse game next year.
Let's go.
Tickets are $6. Tell them to bring, $10-15 for concessions while we're there, and then hit pizza or Jimmy John's or something on the way home. Like, just give them a chance to see some high quality lacrosse, right there in their face. Get a, nice look around at some pretty decent facilities. I shouldn't say pretty decent. Those are very nice facilities, actually. It's stupid nice. So I think that'll be fun. And, yeah, I would love to take them to Shoot Out for Soldiers and kind of just get a hotel room, hang out, and watch as much of the game as possible before guys start falling asleep. And, yeah, that would be awesome, though.
100%. So shout out to the SFS fam. The World Games happened this week, though. I got to catch some of the highlights. Didn't get a chance to really watch too much, but I gotta say, Jeff Teat just continues to dazzle. Did you see the one goal that he scored?
Yes.
That goal was even better than the goal he scored in Baltimore. No cap. No cap whatsoever.
That's one of the best goals he's ever scored.
Easily. Of all time.
I couldn't believe he did it. Jaw was immediately on the ground. I was like, did that actually just go in? Like, no way, right?
That shit was absolutely ridiculous.
Almost tweeted Jeff Tweet. Jeff T is really good at lacrosse.
He almost got the tweet.
Almost. And I just want to say, like, didn't get a chance to watch a lot. Ended up watching more women's than men's. Women's sixes, very, very high quality.
Word.
Like, I think a lot of people's criticism of women's lacrosse is there's like it's too slow and like the defense is just like too easy almost, with no like real shooting space, no 8 meter arc, like none of that. There was like a lot less defense and a lot of back and forth, a lot of shooting. Like it was very, very action, like a lot more like what I guess people would think women's lacrosse would be like without the contact. So like I thought it was very well done. Lots of competition. Seen some crazy things with some sticks. I'm very excited for what sixes could do as far as growing the women's game. We know what it's going to do on the men's side, but on the women's side, I think it has a lot more potential as far as growing the game.
I think in one of the weeks that we're not on the road, we get Keegs back on, because I don't know if you saw his tweet after the gold medal game for the men's. He said, now I'm just going to be sitting at my house and conjuring up 12-man sixes rosters for the championship series. Yes. I think we need to have him on and draft our own championship series rosters.
I would love that. That would be so much fun. I mean, we could do it for every team, even though 3 of them aren't getting in, 4 of them aren't getting in.
Yeah. The Team Canada boys do it again. Josh Byrne, Dane Smith, Jeff Teat, whole squad, absolutely insane. And I think the best tweet of all from the men's side of things was people not thinking Team Canada was going to win when you're giving box guys the same style of play with just bigger nets. What do you think was going to happen? They absolutely dominated, and Dane and Josh winning 2 championships in less than a calendar year and being in 3 is insane.
Oh, it's nuclear. Like those dudes are doing it day in, day out, like on the almost the epitome of a lacrosse player. Like they go out, do what they have to do, and put in blood, sweat, and tears. A lot of love is put out in the way they play. They play with a lot of emotion. It's fun to watch them play too. I mean, you don't make it to 3 straight championships in less than a calendar year without putting in a lot of work. It's just a testament to those guys. They deserve it 100%. I think the best tweet I saw was Brian. Brian knows Lax. Follow him. Big shout out. That's my guy. He was like, sixes, basically box lacrosse, but on a field. And then Canada. And then it was like a short clip, and it was like, we created this. This is us. We did this. And I was like, yeah, pretty much.
Did he do the Drake video? That's one of my favorite videos of all time. Look around.
We created this.
You see this? We created this. That's one of my favorite meme videos ever.
And I was like, yes.
That video's even funnier because Drake's Canadian.
Oh, yeah. 1,000%. It fits in perfectly with the whole thing. And like Drake hasn't played lacrosse since like 6th grade.
Yeah.
We know this, but like
if not earlier.
Literally, but he played.
Yeah.
and he knows. But
did you guys know Drake played lacrosse?
Newsflash, guys. They play in gym class and we don't. Probably the reason why they're better than us at games like box and
Field
sixes.
and
Yeah, pretty good in field too.
wall ball.
Pipes, horse. I mean, any kind of game you want to play, they're probably beating us.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna eventually, sit down and rewatch some of these games. They're available to watch online, which is great. But yeah, shout out Team Canada. Team USA gets the silver. Shout out to the boy too. Kyle Jackson had a performance during the World Games. He was popping off for the Iroquois national team.
It's the Handu Shane now.
Yeah.
They're kicking the Iroquois name.
All these rosters are loaded.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like we've talked about this when they first were like rolling them out, but like to see it in motion with the guys that are on those rosters is just absolutely stupid.
Did you see the way the bronze medal game ended?
Who played in that?
Japan and someone else. Can't remember off the top of my head who they played. Japan won on like the craziest overtime goal I've ever seen.
No, I didn't see it.
I was like, no way did they win like this in overtime. I was like, this is electric. And then like their celebration was bonkers. I was like, this is one of the best team celebrations I've ever seen. It was just for the bronze. Like, yes.
That's amazing.
I was like, Canada didn't even celebrate this hard when they won the gold, but this is sick.
That's electric. Yeah, I mean, I think this is something that's going to be very much mainstay's not like the right word, but like something that's going to be like a cog in the wheel of pushing the Olympics to happen.
I think,
and by happen I mean like viewership wise.
Yeah, I think this only solidified 2028, in my opinion. I think we got a lot of good conversation about it in Discord, a lot of good conversation about it on Twitter, Instagram, socials. We're talking about, World Games, lacrosse at the World Games. We got people watching on the Olympic channel, watching on TV. So I think the interest in just this small version that we got, because I mean, it was so condensed. It was 3 days, 4 days, and It kind of was just boom, 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 boom. So either you watched or you didn't, and you had time to talk about it or you didn't. So I think what we did get in this short amount of time is only like, okay, if we give this audience, sixes lacrosse over 5-6 days with pool play and a tournament in the Olympics, they will watch. Like, it won't be a waste of our time and money. And I think that's the main thing with getting, that's the second thing that comes with getting a sport into the Olympics is, one, how many countries can compete in the sport. They don't just want it to be, like 10 countries doing a sport. It's not worth their time.
Yeah.
And second, is it, once they have established that enough countries can do it, is it going to be worth their time and money as far as viewership and people buying merch and watching and things like that? So now that we've gotten the first part out of the way, the second, this was our kind of trial run for the second, and I think we did pretty well.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I think it's only going to continue to explode from here with the format and just the players that played in the World Games. I think emphasize it that much more. And I think it's going to get other guys who didn't get an opportunity to play to kind of want to scratch that itch of being like, I could do this. And, go out. Also, shout out to Gitz. That was like the highlight that is now like branded on my brain. Gitz playing defense like that, just fucking locked down. That man was more locked down than I don't even know what. Like, that's the type of security system I want protecting my house, is Adam Gittleman playing defense.
I mean, it was electric to see. You don't see a lot of goalies get out and play out in the field at all, and when they do, it's normally down at attack. they're chilling, waiting for little backside dumps, not really doing too much. But like he was out there doing his thing. We saw a little bit of it in the All-Star game last year, so like wasn't totally surprised, but like to see him, play short stick D like that, lock a guy down, and like really sit in, like that's electric. Like that's like it's not as big of a thing in sixes because like everybody's got a short, but like seeing a short stick really locked down like that on an island, like in a field game, is like one of the most juice things a team can get. Sidelines go nuts for that thing. So like just to see that's electric.
And not that it's going to be like a mainstay thing where like Adam Gittleman's playing defense, but like if you can do that, it's going to make your roster more versatile because the rosters are even more condensed. If you have a guy who can play multiple spots like that, it's going to give you a slight edge to play.
Yeah, and that's why like Trevor is a perfect face-off guy. He can play all three ways in all reality when it comes to sixes. So,
him, Nards.
Yeah. TD's getting there if he can learn how to shoot.
Hey, I did see him score his first goal.
That you did.
That was electric. That was electric.
I'm mad it was you and not me.
Shout out to the World Games. Job well done by all the squads. Let's get into the big boy, the All-Star Game preview. All-Star Game happening this weekend at Gillette. Did you see the quote-unquote rosters for the skills competitions?
I
released
did
today.
I did see the contestants for the skills competition. I'm gonna need you to learn your verbiage here.
What did I say?
Rosters.
It's rosters.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
It's not American Idol. They're not contestants.
They are in fact contestants.
Well, here we're both wrong. The tweets say participants.
Oh my Jesus! They are contests, which makes them contestants. I'm gonna need them to get this together as well.
So the fastest shot participants, which I'm hoping is not during halftime of the game, like it was last year.
It's after.
Thank goodness. I did not like that last year.
Skills comps are after.
Well, it was. Everything else was after last year, except they did the fastest shot.
I saw
during
like
halftime.
a thing.
They confirmed that.
I think it was during the selection show on YouTube.
Okay.
Like after it showed the schedule, and it was like All-Star Game, and it was like.
Well, they did the same thing last year too, and then like I don't know if it was like a midweek, like we're gonna change this and do it, but
no, there was a asterisk last year, and it, like right under in fine print, it was like fastest shot at halftime of All-Star Game.
Thank goodness.
But like this year, it didn't say that, so I don't think they're gonna do that.
I hated that last year. Like it was just like the one skills competition I think that your casual viewers are tuning in for is the fastest shot, and if you're doing it during the game, nobody's gonna watch the skills competitions.
Yeah, I think it was just an idea to have something going during halftime to keep viewers in and keep them from leaving. I just maybe do a halftime.
Which is why we need halftime shows.
Yeah, I say do a halftime show instead, not like a studio one. Just do a halftime show.
Eventually, we need studio halftime shows and pregame shows and postgame shows.
Yeah, absolutely. Which
hosted by us.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. But I mean, yeah, just for the All-Star Game, it's still one thing you do. That's the one game you pull in one, even if you don't do it for championship, which would also be cool if they did it for the championship game. But halftime show for the All-Star Game, pull in an artist, even if they're not like super high, A-list. You can pull in B-list, C-list, artists and have them do it.
Hell, I don't even care if you do a little Tykes on Turf action.
That
like
I literally tweeted about that. I was like, what do we have to do to get the halftime show to be the little guys playing at halftime? Like
they did that a couple weeks when I was out. I think it was Long Island and Baltimore. They did that. I think they might have done it in Albany too.
They do it, but they don't show it on TV.
Right.
That's what I want. I'm like,
yeah.
How much to get ESPN to show the little guys running around? Like that's what we need right there. that is what we need. Like, that is top tier. Like, RJ said it 1,000 times. Like, best halftime show in the land. Like, yes, that's it right there. We need that.
So we got the 2022 fastest shot participants. Justin Anderson, which was kind of an interesting one to me. CJ Costabile. Miles Jones coming back. Mike Manley. And then running it back, the boy, friend of the program, king of the fastest shot competition, Jared Newman.
I mean, I like this list. Other than Justin Anderson was, like you said, a little kind of like shocker, but like
he's like the Mikey Schlosser of this year.
Yeah, but like I think that should have been Jack Hanna. Like, hello, the man had the shot heard around the world. Like, that thing was loud.
Ding!
Loud. Like, I think I still hear it. Like, it was unreal.
It's my alarm that wakes me up in the morning.
It just like, it was like I never heard a shot sound like that. Like, it didn't even. It sounded like it hit the corner. You know how like you can stuff it in the corner where it like hits a little bit of pipe and net at the same time. Like, it sounded like it just went right in the corner. And I was like, I ran it back a few times. Like, is that really what I just heard? Like, was that the shot, or was that thunder? Lightning hit something? Like, what? Sure enough, it was just shot right to net. I was like, that is just disgusting. I don't know how he's not in the hardest shot comp.
Yeah. The 2022 Freestyle Challenge participants: Connor Farrell, Chris Gray, Asher Knowlting, the boy, the homie, Jack Rowlett, and then we're putting some layers in this one. Deej. Mikey Sowers is going to be in the Delco Brain Freestyle Challenge. Michael Sowers will also be in this one. I'm excited. Nice little roster there. I always love when a face-off guy is participating in the freestyle. I love that Jack's in this. I love that Jack is in the freestyle. I love that 2 rookies are in the freestyle. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. The freestyle is always interesting because they get creative, and hopefully it stays that way. Like, hopefully they don't use their bag of tricks just in the first round.
I don't think so. I mean, like, you know, it's starting to become dunk competition-esque. So guys are starting to really plan and be like, okay, I'm going to do this first, do this, and then this. And, you know, or they're kind of looking at guys like, okay, I was going to do this, but he just did that, so I'm going to do this. So, like, I like the way this is trending, and eventually it'll be, you know, at a point where it's like 8 guys and there's a turn, you know, knocking guys down by level, and we get a pretty solid freestyle dunk competition kind of thing. So, solid group. I also think Connor Farrell got in because Trevor's hurt. Might be me, but I think that was kind of the idea there, was to go with Trevor, but then everything happened with him and his quad, hoping he's healing and going to be good to go when we come out of the break. But yeah, that was the one thing I saw when I saw Connor's name. I was like, ooh, fun. But I think just because Trevor didn't get in doesn't take anything away from Connor, because I still think he's going to be really fun. But
yeah,
I think
there's going to be some sort of milk product involved.
Oh yeah, ooh, that's going to be interesting. Glad I will not be in Boston for this.
The 2022 Accuracy Challenge participants: friend of the program Jules Henningberg, Marcus Holman, the boy Will Manny, Jeff Teat, and Groot Logan Wisnauskas. It's a hell of a roster for this one. Marcus Holman, 2-time champ. See if he runs it back for the three-peat. I love that he and Will always go head-to-head in this. Jules being in this is very fun. Obviously, Jeff Teat was in it last year, if I'm not mistaken. And then Logan, as a rookie coming in, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing to really say about this is will someone finally beat Marcus? I'm tired of it. Like,
I feel the same way about the fastest shot with Jared, because I still view Jared as the winner of last year because he literally had the fastest shot. I digress. But yeah, the accuracy contest is always a lot of fun as well. And then we have the 2022 fastest player participants. A new champ will be crowned because Romar not in it this year. So we got Justin Anderson, Brian Costabile, JT Giles Harris, Troy Ray, and the boy, Jack Rowlett. 2 friends of the program in this one from the Chaos Boys. You damn well know Jack is going to be like turning on the Turbo Blazers to try to win this.
Oh, I'm so excited to see Jack run with this. And I'm just intrigued to see, is he running with a short or a long?
Same with Troy.
Yeah, and if they're running with longs, that's going to be very fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, do they make them run next to each other so that they have to hold their sticks in ways that they won't bother each other? Or are they going to put them on opposite sides so they can just run however? Like, there's a lot of logistics going into this year's fastest player. Wasn't what we saw in the past. I'm excited for this, especially because it's a new champ.
I'm also very excited that it's not just like 4 guys from Atlas like it was last year. Just the running of the Bulls. And then we have the 2022 Goalie Challenge participants. Your 4 goalies, Kyle Bernlord, Jack Kincannon, Blaze Reardon, Sean Scanoni. Should be fun. I always forget how the goalie contest works, but regardless, those 4 guys have been
It's something about making saves.
Saves, yeah.
Yeah.
Those 4 guys have been balling, know how to make saves. I'm sure you have some sort of big gup slander. Hey, maybe watch this.
Yeah, right?
But that's a skills contest. Very excited for that. One day we'll have 3 days of All-Star activity, and this will be its own day. But we also have the All-Star game coming up. A couple rules changes. How do you feel about the rules changes that are being implemented?
Bonus ball, yes, please. I love that idea. That's going to be bonkers. I think it's like the last 2 or 3 minutes of each half or quarter. I can't remember exactly what it is, but that +2, so every goal is 2 and 2 bombs are 4. And then you're bringing the 2 bombs in 2 yards. All right, so we're going to be seeing 4 bombs for the last couple minutes. Like that, yeah. It reminds me of it's slowly turning more and more into like an NBA All-Star weekend. Like I now, with these rule changes, I could see this possibly being like just a total like, oh yeah, I'll play a little bit of defense for the first 3 quarters, and we kind of just see the score kind of just hike, and then guys kind of buckle down in the 4th and then go for the win, which is exciting. That's kind of what you want to see in an All-Star game. Guys just out there having fun, staying loose, staying away from injuries as much as possible, and then, you know, just going down and having a little bit of competition in the 4th to see who can come out on top, per se.
Yeah, the bonus ball rule, which is the Big Cat PFT Water Dogs owners rule. So the last 2 minutes of each quarter turns into bonus ball. Each goal will be worth 2x, and then each 2-pointer, like you said, will be worth 4. And then we got the shortened 2-point arc that will be moved in from 15 yards to 13 yards. That's going to be insane. If Jared Newman, I'm looking at you, Jared. I am looking at you, Jared. If you don't rip a fucking 2-bomb from 13, I'll be highly disappointed. That's all I got to say on that. That's that on that. I need Jared ripping. I need him to get back in the flow. The injury report's a little sad. So your All-Star Week 6 injury report. Grant, obviously out. Wasn't named to the All-Star team because he didn't play this year. Trevor is out with that lower body injury. Lyle Thompson is out with a lower body injury. Max Adler and Jerry Raganese out for Chaos. Redwoods, Jack Neer, Kyle Hartzell, Anthony DeMeo, all out. None of them were all-stars. Water Dogs, like half their roster is on the freaking injury report. Ryan Brown, Steve DiNapoli, Jake Higgins, Rylan Reese, Mikey Schlosser, Dylan Ward, Jake Withers. Jake Withers, though, I think is the most interesting one of all of this. He's questionable on this one, so maybe Fairfield. We see Jake Withers back for the Water Dogs, which would be huge for them. Dylan Ward, though, out, and Steve DiNapoli still out. And then the Whip Snakes, Jake Bernhardt, questionable still with that lower body injury, and Matt Dunn and Mike Earhart both out for the All-Star game. Bummer with some big names out, but it's expected. Guys getting a chance to rest some more and, recoup for the second half of the season. Sucks we're not going to see Lyle in the All-Star game, though.
I mean, yeah, it always sucks when there's certain guys that don't get in, but what I'm always excited to see is the guys who fill their spot and kind of how they take that opportunity and how excited they are to have that honor. Like, it's always so fun seeing those guys go in and be like, well, I wasn't supposed to be here, but since I am, I'm going to show out a little bit. So interested to see who they pull in now.
One is confirmed. Scott Ratliff is in. So shout out to the boy, friend of the program. Scott Ratliff is in.
Yeah, and he's been there, done that, so don't really expect – I shouldn't say a ton out of him, but, I kind of know it's well-deserved, and I know what to expect from him. These other guys, though, this is what I'm excited for, is to find out who they're going to be and how they decide to come out and play with, this newfound opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. I'm excited to see – well, I mean, I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but seeing Asher in the skills competition – did that get confirmed today? Let's see.
That's a good sign. It's a good sign.
Yes. So we talked about it last week. It seems like the PLL listened to the episode last week, Deej, because not only is Asher Nolting going to Boston, this confirmed earlier today, Ryan Drenner also going to Boston. Shout out to the boys.
Tote got us back, baby.
The boys are going to Boston. Ship them on up. So that looks like that's a replacement for Lyle and one of the Whips boys, maybe. And then you have Scott going. I don't know who else might have gotten tabbed.
Shout out Ryan Drenner, though.
The man. We got to get him back on here.
Even my boys know who the Tote God is. I've talked about it. They're all like...
I do know the league definitely listened to the pod because there are also other guys that we mentioned that got snubbed last week that are going. Two of the dogs, the boy, Eli Gobrecht, and Ben Randall, also all-stars.
We did talk about that for a solid little minute.
Solid. We were talking about that. Anybody else that we missed?
I had a kid come up to me last weekend. I mean, helmet was like this. And was like, does my tilt look like Drenner's? I was like, let's go. Yes. I was like, you have gas tilt right now. Absolutely. Play like that all game. He's like, I can't really see, coach. I'm gonna go back. And I was like, all right.
That's so funny. I don't know who's worse, Christian Mazzone or Ryan Drenner.
The weird thing is, I would have to say Mazzone because he looks good, but not super drippy with it, and then it also looks like sometimes his tilt throws him off. Versus Drenner looks just dripped out anytime he's got it on. Plays unreal when his tilt is the way it should be, and people I literally my kids at first when they were when we were talking about it, I was showing them pictures and stuff. They were like, how does he see? He's like he literally can't do anything like that. I was like, dude, don't ask me, man.
Man's like Daredevil.
He's like, don't. I was like, man's is out there with negative bar syndrome. He's just that good, man.
And I guess I'm having Mandela effect syndrome right here because I could have sworn Troy Ray was an initial All-Star, but he's a replacement as well.
Yeah, he was not an initial All-Star.
So Troy going as well. Great for the brand.
Is the CERN portal hitting you? The CERN portal hit you? Oh,
I don't know what. I just figured both Troy and CJ got voted in, but it was just CJ. So glad to see Troy going. Shout out to the boy. All-Star Game's going to be electric. Enter our fucking giveaway, you clowns. We're not just going to go willy-nilly because these giveaways come out of our own pockets. We do it for the people. We want you guys to have these kick-ass jerseys that they released earlier this week that look so much better than 2021. I think in the pantheon of ranking them, it's obviously 2019, number 1, 2022, and then 2021. I think my only gripe with this year's is that we were talking about this when they dropped the jerseys, is that I wish it was the same logo that's on the front of the 2019 ones, where it's the star coming out of the PLL logo, and then do the one thing that was kind of nice about 2021, have the All-Star Game patch, up on the chest area. Then this jersey would be unbelievable. The back having, the hidden PLL logo going down the entire back, the stars and everything on it, the nation flag for, each player, I think is a nice touch as well. And it's not too in your face that OutSystems is the sponsor. I like the jerseys a lot. I think they did a really nice job. All the people out there saying Pittsburgh ? Bruins ? Fuck all the way off. You morons. Do you not see the PLL logo right there on DJ's hat? Do you not see that? Have you not followed the league for as long as they've been around? The PLL logo, everybody, is fucking black and gold. It's not that hard to conceptualize that they're using the league colors for the All-Star Game. People coming at us saying, oh, well, All-Star jerseys typically, go into where it's held. No, they don't. They haven't done that since, the early 2000s. Did you see last year's MLB All-Star Game jersey? They were trash. This year's, it's in Dodger Stadium this year for the MLB All-Star Game. They had a gray, white, and gold. What does that have to do with the Dodgers? Nothing. Come on. Get a grip, people. I was blown away by just the dumbassery of some people online. I couldn't believe it. I truly could not believe it.
I mean, literally.
Steelers, Pirates.
I couldn't even
up.
I literally couldn't even say anything about it. It's I would have just gotten upset at the stupidity. It's it's common sense. If you watch the league at any point between 2019 and now, their colors are black and gold just as a league. So if they come out with black and gold jerseys, oh my God, those are league colors. It's like the NBA.
It's the first thing I said.
It's like the NBA coming out with blue, red, and white jerseys.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's league colors. The Pro Bowl wearing blue, red, and white. Oh no, again, league colors. Is it really that big of a deal?
Nah, bro. The NBA All-Star jerseys, when they're that's just the ABA New Jersey Nets jerseys.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just the Pistons, actually.
Pistons are good this year. Mark my words.
Just change that logo.
They made very solid moves. They do need to change the logo back to the actual Pistons.
I told Pat Pitts when this is a total sidebar, but I told him that it looks like a beach ball, the current logo.
It does. It's so awful. So awful.
Who do you think's winning the All-Star Game, since we don't have a technical pick?
Who's replacing Trevor at X?
It's a good question. I didn't see a replacement.
It's got to be Joe, right?
It's got to be.
Definitely can't be TD.
Withers is hurt. It's not going to be anybody from Cannons. Not going to be anybody from Archers. Yeah, it's got to be Joe.
I'll take Team Baptiste.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Team Trevor's going to win it for Trev.
And he let him get all those Atlas guys.
I know. I feel like it's just going to come down to who's got the better 2-point game with the bonus balls.
Yeah.
And Team Trev's got Miles, so.
Miles and someone else, I feel like.
CJ Costabile is going to be fucking ripping, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man,
CJ, Troy, and Jared. If they all don't have 2-point goals in this, I'll be highly upset.
Any other middies that kind of have range?
Let me see from the initial rosters that we screenshot last week.
Jeff Teat might pull a 2 from 13.
That'd be bonkos.
Yeah.
He'll probably do it behind the back, no look, over the shoulder.
You're out of pocket.
Let's see. I mean, J.A. might pull up from 2.
J.A. could pull from 2.
Channy
definitely.
Schreiber with that dad strength. Connor Kelly can pull up from 2.
Yep. We know this as he had that bomb in the rain in Minnesota last year.
He had 2 or a couple weeks ago, too.
Yeah.
And then on Team Trevor, I mean, how ridiculous do you think it would be if Blaze pulled up from 2 from 13? I think I would just be the ascending SpongeBob meme.
That would be sick. I'd have to put a montage together and be like, find me a goalie that can do all 3.
Get you a man who can do both.
Not all 3. Because you got to get him finishing in tight. Got to get the deep finish, and then you got to get him playing goal.
Cade Van Splashhorst?
Yes. I can see him pulling from 13.
Danny Logan's going to pull it from 2.
I like Splash Horse. That's using a little bit of my English on that.
I mean, Graham Hossack from 2 would be electric.
That seems scary.
Very.
As a goaltender, like
Jules can pull up from 2. Costabile can pull from 2.
Oh yeah.
Chris Gray.
Ooh.
I love to see the boy Mikey Sowers pull up from 2. The Delco dads would be going fucking nuts out there, Deej.
All right, guy.
I just realized, too, we got Matty Rambo and Michael Sowers on the same team. The Delco dads are going to be fucking bonkers for Team Baptiste.
That's going to be interesting to see.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Man. Love a good all-star game this time of year. And shout out to Scotty Royster Diggs heading out to the all-star game as well for TLN. It's going to be electric content. Just like what we have here. Final segment. We've teased it for the past couple weeks. We curated the squads. It's the NLL All OTB teams. We got them. We're ready to rock and roll with them. Should we start with the second team or the first team?
We could do this one of 2 ways. Because I think the league went backwards and started with 3. And the NBA normally starts with 1. I'm cool with either one.
Let's start with 2 and keep people anticipated for who's on the first team. So, the rules for all OTB. 1, you have to meet one of these 3 criteria. You had to have either been a frequent talking point on the podcast this year. 2, you have to be a friend of the program. Or 3, you had to have just gone absolutely nuclear and had an unbelievable season. One or more of those 3 gets you on. Number 2, we have a coach for both teams. We have a goalie for both teams. We have 1 face-off guy. for both teams. And then defensively, there's 5 guys, but 2 of the defenders are classified as transition players by the league. And then we have 5 guys on offense. So here we go. Team number 2. The coach for the inaugural NLL All-OTB team, second team, it's world champion Pat Coyle. You win a championship, it's kind of hard to keep you out of there. And everything that Pat Coyle did to keep the Mammoth in the hunt out west was electric. And then for him to navigate a 3-game series in the NLL finals against the Buffalo Bandits was a job well done. So Pat Coyle, the second team NLL All-OTB coach. The goalie, future friend of the program. We talked about him a ton. We're going to do an eventual box break with him. And he had one hell of a fucking season. Nick Rose gets the nod for the second team All-OTB goalie. Transition for the second team All-OTB team, Trevor Baptiste. He was one of 2 face-off guys in the league to finish with at least 300 face-off wins. He's right in our backyard. We talk about Trevor all the time on this show, and it just made sense to include the 2 guys who finished with 300-plus face-off wins. It's just insane. Defense, we broke it down. We got some guys who follow the program, some guys that surprised us this year, and some guys that we predicted early in the season to have a fantastic year. Deej, number 1, we went with a gritty grinder, absolute jack of all trades. That is Mike Messenger.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing it again in the PLL. Like, he hasn't taken many face-offs, but he's gotten at the X, taking some face-offs, played phenomenal defense. He scored a few goals. Like, he's doing everything that he did up in Saskatchewan. Now he's just doing it for Chrome outdoors out in the field. It's no different for him. He had a really great year for Saskatchewan. He's the reason why they won a lot of the games that they did win this year. Playing all sides of the ball, getting after loose balls, winning face-offs, playing aggressive defense, scoring some transition goals, assists, etc. Very key focal point this year, and I think moving forward for Saskatchewan, because obviously they're not down and out. We do expect them, not just me, but the rest of Saskatchewan expects them to be back doing their best. So watch for Mike to be a focal point moving forward.
The next guy was on our preseason Rookie of the Year roster. That's Reed Bowring. Dude absolutely dominated in his rookie year with Vancouver. He's a certified stud. And, I mean, he's lived up to the hype in year 1 alone. And he's only going to get better. So shout out to Reed. The next guy finished in the top 10 in a lot of stats defensively. Follows us on the Twitter machine. He's a future friend of the program. Get on board the Pineapple Express. Latrell Treasy Harris. Welcome to the second team All-OTB. The next one was kind of a very fun addition to the team. DJ and I were curating the roster, and I took a look at something that stood out to me. This is kind of just like the Iron Man nod. Former Philadelphia wing, world champion now with the Colorado Mammoth, Anthony Joachim gets the nod defensively because unknowingly to DJ and I until we were curating the team earlier today, Joker played in the most games of any player this year because of the trade from Philly to Colorado. He played in 20 regular season games and 6 playoff games. 26 NLL box lacrosse games as a defenseman is insane. His body deserves the longest hyperbaric chamber rest of all time. Joker gets the nod as kind of the Iron Man of the season on defense because to play in 20 regular season games is just wild to me.
It's it's a lot. Playing just no matter whether it's box or field, any sport really, 20 games is a lot, and especially in the time frame that they play in. So, it's only one a week, but it's like it's grueling. You're out there.
Sometimes it's two if it's a Friday Saturday or Saturday Sunday, Friday Sunday.
And you're out there for 60 minutes battling. And he was a guy who went out there 20 times, 26 if you count the playoffs, and gave it his all, 100%, and made a difference. He's out there grabbing loose balls, being in the right place at the right time. I think is one of the most underrated things about defense is everybody wants to talk about the crazy checks that cause turnovers, the loose balls, scoring out in transition. But the most important part of defense is just being in the right spot at the right time and communicating. Two things he does very well. Like, I haven't been to a game, but I can just see the way being a defenseman, I can just watch the way he plays and like how he interacts with his teammates, that he's a very vocal guy while he's out there, and he's always in the right place at the right time. Those are two things that may not show up on the stat board, but are two very, very important parts of playing defense. You can't really play without them.
And then the final member of the second team all OTB, Jackson Nishimura, a guy that I talk about ad nauseum. He had a fantastic year with Albany again. I bought stock in him early. I was like, I like the way this guy plays. Had a great year, and it resulted in him being the first overall pick in the expansion draft for Vegas. So Jackson Nishimura gets the nod there. Let's head to the offense. People are going to blow us up on Twitter for this, and I can't fucking wait. Jeff Teat, second team all OTB. We talk about Teat all the time. Rookie of the year, MVP candidate, stud. But Jeff hasn't been on the show yet. But you can't leave Jeff Teat off of one of these teams. Plus, the guys we have on the first team, you'll see why it makes a lot of sense. Jeff Teat is like, if we had 6 guys, he'd be number 6 on, the first team. The next one, Kevin Crowley, who was one of my preseason MVP predictions, finished 11th in the league in points, was a main reason why the Wings made the playoffs this year, and the Big Cat just continues to dazzle. We talk about Kevin Crowley all the fucking time on this show, and eventually he will come on this show, and we'll make it happen. The next one, Deej, is that a bird? Is that a plane?
No.
What is that? It's Curtis Dixon. Superman gets the nod. Friend of the program. He had no idea I was teeing him up for a pun.
That was awful.
As the old phrase goes on this show, you come for the content and you stay for the dad jokes. Curtis Dixon, friend of the program, big reason Calgary made the playoffs this year. Was absolutely dominant, showing out in the first year without Dane Doby there. And Superman gets the nod for second team all OTB. Then Captain America, we love our superheroes. Tom Schreiber gets the nod as well. Played in 2 less games due to his paternity leave than the other 2 guys who were tied with him to lead the league in goals. Still scored the same amount of goals in 2 less games. So if Tom plays in those games, he's number 1. He gets the nod there. And then a postseason darling for us who we could not stop tweeting about, the Mad Hatter himself, C-Rob, Connor Robinson, gets the nod for second team all OTB. He's a guy that I would love to have on this show. He's in the category of Ryan Brown, the way that we talk about him in the PLL, where he's scoring 1 goal or he's scoring a zillion. Connor Robinson, once he scores, he's getting a hat trick. Doesn't matter. He was dominant in the postseason, had 42 goals in the regular season. That's one of the best pickups of the entire year, going into it that Colorado had, getting him from Saskatchewan. So Connor Robinson gets nod there. So that is your second team NLL All OTB squad. To recap it: offense, Jeff T, Kevin Crowley, Curtis Dixon, Tom Schreiber, Connor Robinson, Mike Messenger, Reed Bowering, Latrell Harris, Anthony Jochum, Jackson Nishimura, Trevor Baptiste, Nick Rose, and Pat Coyle. Your first team head coach follows the boys on Twitter, gives so much love to the boys, led Panther City in their first year to almost a playoff berth. TK, Tracy Koluski, gets the nod there for the first team All OTB head coach. The goalie, friend of the program, no spoilers, friend of the program, NLL champion, MVP of the game.
No spoilers.
Did you see that tweet? Hashtag trade Ward. Dylan Ward is your NLL All OTB goalie of the year. Your transition player, there was only two of them that got 300 or more face-off wins, and this guy had the best face-off percentage as well. The wizard himself, Jake Withers, who also follows the boys on Twitter, so that also helped his case. Trevor doesn't follow us, so had to make the semantics work there. Defensively, Zach Currier, Mitch DeSnew, Steve Priolo, newly found Twitter follower Graham Hosick, and Liam Burns. Deej, talk to the people about this defense because they were all so disgusting this year.
I mean, it was hard to. It was hard not to pick these guys these were the first five that came to our minds right away. I think we started putting this team together maybe an hour ago, and instantly we said defense, and boom, we had five guys, and we're like, all right, so what's next? It wasn't even a thought in these guys. It came up quick. We had the transition thing, and instantly Zach Currier, Mitch DeSnew, no question, first two off the dock, and then defense was boom, boom, boom. These guys were phenomenal this year. If these are the five guys any team put out on D, I would argue that they could blank. They could blank a team. They could play 60 minutes of a lacrosse game and arguably blank a team. They are just that good. They communicate. They're in the right spots. They get out. They pick up loose balls. They help on the offensive end. They force outside shots, give the goalie time. They don't screen them. They do everything they're supposed to do. Hypothetically, if they had the perfect goaltender, this team could blank a team. This team could blank another. This defense could blank another team, no matter who's on offense.
Well, we'll see if they could blank the first team NLL All OTB squad. The MVP gets on, friend of the program, Dane Smith. Just an utterly dominant season from the great Dane. DJ's early MVP candidate and a guy we love dearly and would love to have on this show, unfortunately got hurt, so it kind of derailed his MVP candidacy. Ryan Lee gets on the board. Another guy DJ was campaigning hard for with the MVP candidacy, Joe Resitardis, gets in on the first team All OTB. Then a guy who we can never stop talking about because we love him so much, Jesse King, just really stepped up in a spot in Calgary where Dane Doby was gone. They had Curtis Dixon, so who's going to step up? It was Jesse King. It seemed like any Calgary game day, you were just seeing tweets from their account that Jesse King had scored. He's a leader, and he's a guy that has gotten down with us for quite some time, since the PLL bubble, when I was tweeting about him being one of the most underrated players in the sport, which I still believe that to be true, but I think this year really put his skill set on display. So Jesse King gets the nod for first team All OTB. And then Deej, do the tweet. Tweet it right now, live at 12:36 a.m. Do the tweet.
Right. I'm going. I'm going. Pulling up Twitter. Currently having technical difficulties. This is hilarious.
It's not even a game day, but the tweet is happening. Real ones know what we're plotting and scheming right now.
You know what? This is going to be so much easier. Done.
Tweet has been sent. It is official to announce it. Lyle Thompson, good at lacrosse, good enough for us to put him on the first team NLL All OTB squad. Lyle's like our white whale to come on the show, and we always talk about Lyle. Deej always tweets about Lyle. There was no way Lyle was getting left off the first team. So to recap, the first team NLL All OTB squad, the inaugural. Coach, our boy TK. The goalie, Dylan Ward. The transition face-off player, Jake Withers. The defense, Zach Courier, Mitch DeSnoo, Steve Priolo, Graham Hosick, and Liam Burns. And your offense, Dane Smith, Ryan Lee, Joe Resitardis, Jesse King, and Lyle freaking Thompson. It's the very first NLL All OTB team. We will have the PLL version at the end of the PLL season. But I think for an inaugural squad, it's pretty damn good for a first and second team, if I do say so myself. We incorporated a lot. We got one of your New York Riptide. We got one of my Philadelphia Wings. And just a whole lot of damn good lacrosse players, coaches, and everything in between on there. Deej, it's All-Star break. We got an All-Star game to enjoy this weekend. Enter our goddamn giveaway, people. And I think the people are going to be very excited that this is one of the shortest episodes we've had in a very long time. So we are going to leave it at that. Make sure you guys are following us on the socials at OTB Laxpod on Twitter, Instagram. We're 6 fucking followers away on Twitter from 1,400. Can we please get there before the giveaway ends? Let's get there, people. What are we doing? 1,400's right there. Make sure you're following DJ on Twitter at SCS_next great. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Check out the website, undergroundsportsphiladelphia.com, for all of our written content. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there, and leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. And, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Smash the like button, click the bell icon, comment down below, and share the channel, share the podcast in video form with your peeps, with your friends and family. If you're going to be in Boston for the All-Star game, tweet us pictures, let us know where you're at, and go enjoy that thing, as we will be enjoying it from the comfort of our own homes. And we will see you all in Fairfield next week. We'll be in Connecticut, and of course, we are back with picks next week. We are back with breakdowns of the second half of the season, and who knows, might have a guest on deck. DJ will be here. It's going to be a blast. It's another road trip for the boys. But this has been episode number 230 of the allegedly award-nominated, honorably mentioned Outside the Box podcast. View that thing on YouTube. Listen to it where you get your podcasts. And until next week, We're getting the heck up out of here. Peace.
Peace.